open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Sailing Singles of South Florida with us.
Sailing Singles.
We've got Lynette Beal, Commodore Lynette Beal joining us, and Captain Jim Williams of the Sailing Singles. You can check it out at sailingsingles.org. Bev's going to hang over there. She's a member of the Sailing Singles. This one is the member of more clubs and more activities.
I'm the membership director of the club.
You got to use your mic, please. She needs, you need your whole, activities coordinator thing. You do.
Wait a minute. I'm curious to find out.
As long as the green light's on, we're good.
I'm curious to find out what this is all about because nobody tells me nothing.
No.
So this is what kind of, is it a big vessel? Is it a sailboat vessel? Is it a yacht vessel? How big is this vessel?
Lynette, give us some information.
Hi, glad to be here today. We're from Sailing Singles of South Florida. It's a singles club, but our goal is to teach and go sailing. And it's a wonderful opportunity if people want to be on boats, on the water. And our single, we have socials. So it's a great club. And any questions you have, we're glad to talk about it.
You have to be single.
Yes, you have to be single. We do have people that meet and marry in the club, so they can stay as members. They just can't vote anymore once they're married.
Okay, hold on. So I'm going on this vessel to learn how to sail, or am I going on this vessel to meet a Chiquita banana? I mean, what is going on?
Well, it's an interesting combination because it's people who are active, who enjoy the water, but also are single and want to meet people with similar interests. So sailing and socializing makes a great club.
How big is the boat?
Yeah, these are sailboats?
We have captains that have sailboats, and we have Jim Williams, one of our captains here, that may want to speak to that a little bit about what we do.
Jim, it's your boat?
I do have a boat. We have power boats, and we have sailing boats, and they vary in size from 24 up to maybe 45 feet. So it's a variety of boats and a variety of captains and a variety of people. And it's a lot of fun when we get out on the water.
So, Captain, you have a fleet of vessels. Is that what you're telling me? Different sizes depending on the occasion?
Well, I only have one vessel and other people have one vessel each.
Okay.
But we have a fleet of boats. Each boat is owned by somebody. And they get called captains, and then we have crew, who the other members of the club.
So Bev is part of your crew?
I'm sorry?
So Bev is part of your crew?
I have.
So do you move the sail and say, shift, pull, go, and they all run to the other side?
The idea is the crew follows the orders of the captain when they're on the boat.
Can you imagine?
Not the way you described it, no.
So I think what you're asking is the club is comprised of people who own boats.
Okay.
And people who don't own boats. And the captains we have, I don't know, I think Lynette and Jim could talk about how many we have, but the concept is the captains offer their votes to the members. We have 10 people on our board, sailing director, overnight sailing director, treasurer. I'm the membership director, and then these are also officers of the club. So there's no one boat. People that join the club have their own boats.
So they go to you. Let's say if I wanted to be on a bigger vessel. First, I'm very afraid of the water. You see, the further I am from the water, the better I am. That's my first rule. So if I wanted a 45-foot vessel, I come to you and you put me on that particular.
So what
single.
happens is when you join, which is only $125 a year, and we post the events that we have. So let's say we're going to, like Monday we had a moonlight sail. So it was posted on the website, and if you'd like to go, then you would sign up that you'd like to go. And the sailing director does her best she places everybody on the boats. So we had like, what, Jim was there? How many boats, Jim, on Monday?
Yeah, we had 7 boats at the raft up on Monday.
7 boats.
And a raft up is where all the boats come in, we drop anchor, we tie up to each other, and we have a big raft, and we end up with 7 boats, maybe 35 people total on the boats. And what do we do on the boat in the evening? Well, of course, we party.
You go out. You go out to. How far do you go from the dock?
Well, the power boats tend to stay on the intercoastal. They go up and down the intercoastal.
Okay.
The sailboats, there's no point having a sailboat if you don't go out onto the ocean.
Right.
So on Monday, I went to the raft up, but beforehand, we went sailing. It was actually a great day sailing. There was plenty of wind. The waves weren't high. We probably went about 4 or 5 miles offshore, sailed around, and came back in. And it was good. We had a good time sailing, and then we had the raft up afterwards.
How many members are part of the group?
We average about 140 members in the club, and people ask a lot if they have to have a boat to join. They do not. And also, if they haven't experienced boating or been on sailboats, we accept those people because we train twice a year. We have sailing orientation sessions, so we help individuals. And we do have some people that don't swim, and we work with them as well, because we would ask them to wear a life preserver if we're out on the water. But everybody has an opportunity to learn about boating, sailing, and also get on boats. So it's a great opportunity if you don't own a boat.
And what's the age group?
The age group really is anyone over 18, but we tend to have maybe people in their 50s and 60s or so, but we do take younger people, and we're trying to recruit younger people as well. So it is a wonderful opportunity, and so we have a lot of fun too.
How many events a month, I guess, do you meet?
Well, we have socials every week on Thursday nights at Galuppi's, so people can come and meet members, meet captains, and we're always getting people joining throughout the year. And then we also have parties every month. We usually have a sail every month or boating. And then captains take people out individually on trips, and Jim might want to talk about that. We do plan trips to the Abacos, to the Bahamas, Bimini. So those do go on as well. Those are overnights, maybe for several days or weeks.
Ever need a singer on the boat?
A singer. Do we need a singer on the boat? Probably, because some of our raft ups we sing and we
Right?
dance.
Having some live music, hanging out, some wine. We got to bring up Schnebley's wine, get Melissa on the boat singing some wine, some cocktails on the boat with a full moon. Could be amazing.
You know, it's funny. When we got this place, I asked Dawn, because that bay door opens, I wanted to bring a boat in here so we could do something on the sea away from the ocean. Now, if somebody wants to join this, is it for the love of meeting somebody, and let's say they don't want to learn how to work a boat and they just want to meet people? Is that allowed, or do you have to want to be learning how to?
No, that is allowed because some of the people like to go to the parties and
Right.
Be involved and volunteer and help. So not everyone is as active on the water, but we do try to give that opportunity to people that enjoy the water as well.
Gotcha.
So people join for different reasons, but the fact that we are the only singles sailing club in Broward County, that's a great opportunity to meet someone as well.
Yeah, you see, I would definitely be one of them somebody. I can pour ice, I can carry stuff, but I don't want to learn nothing about sailing. I want to meet people.
You would love.
Well, you
would
could
love
be the
this.
galley slave in the boat, as far as I'm concerned. That would be fine.
How long have you been a captain?
Well, I've had the boat about 3.5 years now.
And you must love what you do because being on the ocean is different than anything else on the planet. If you love that
True.
stuff.
It's the water.
Well, it's a lot of fun, but owning a sailboat is also a lot of work, and it doesn't come cheaply either. But no, it's a great social activity as well. You know, I meet a lot of people through the club, and we have in going out on the water is always the highlight of the month.
And you know, owning a boat is expensive
It is expensive.
because it's like another world.
Have you ever sailed or rented a boat or gone out for the
but
day?
Jody, the manager, a station manager, she used to have a boat. So she used to send me pictures of her and her girlfriends going up and down the Intercoastal because what I wanted to do back in the day was I wanted to buy a boat. And then I saw the price and I didn't want to buy a boat no
You
more.
wanted to do a show on a boat. Remember, we
I
had
always
2
wanted to
gigs
do-
that one
yeah.
night, and you had to go on that
Yeah.
one shoot with Connecticut.
So I found clubs where you can join to rent a boat. So you call and says, okay, on this date I want the boat, and you go there with your friends, and it's all ready for you. They give you a captain because you got to have a captain on the boat, and you go out. And I wanted to do that. I mean, they were a lot of fun. You know, the ocean is something that if that sun is bearing down on you, man, you're going to roast. You gotta wear protection and zinc iron.
Do you guys
and
go
all
out
that
during
stuff.
the day or at night?
We do both. We just, as they said, we had a moonlight sail the other night, and people loved it. The full moon was out, and the pictures are fabulous.
Wow.
Of everyone, and we have day sails, so a combination, really.
How many hours is a sail? Is a voyage?
Well, it depends what sort of voyage you're doing. I mean, if you're going over to the Bahamas, it takes about a day to sail over to Bimini. But if you're going out just for the day, you might be out on the water for 2 or 3 hours, and then you'd come back in. So it varies just depending on what the journey is.
You've had a boat for 3 years. Was that the first time you started boating, or you've always been into sailboats?
No, I learned to sail when I was a teenager, and then in my 20s, I raced a sailboat for some years, which is a different type of sailing. And then I didn't sail. I got married and didn't sail for many years. Unfortunately, I got divorced, and then I thought, well, let's get a sailboat. So I bought a sailboat.
See what marriage will do for you?
Or the divorce, you get a sailboat.
You got back on the ocean. I have a friend of mine who races sail. Not has a friend, and she races these things, and it's unbelievable when she tries to explain to me how it is. And I just look at her and I stare at her and I go, there's a lot of things you got to do. And your timing, your brain has to be fast. Now she has a houseboat. So we go to her houseboat and we sort of hang out there when she's in town. But I still ask her to tell me about the stories. Sailing is really majestic. It's magical. It's majestic. At night, how long is the tour? 1 hour, 2 hours?
Well, it's as long as you want it to be. I mean, one of the ideas I've been thinking about is heading out from the dock about 8 o'clock in the evening and sailing out onto the ocean and staying out all night long just to see the night sky without
that's
any
scary.
light pollution, and
That's
then come
scary.
back in the next morning at 8 or 9 in the morning. So
That's scary.
A
See the
true
sunrise in the middle of the
overnight
ocean?
go out when it's really black.
You can't see your hand in front of your face. It's so dark. 'Cause
Well,
when-
night vision is, you'd be amazed at night vision actually, when you get used to it, you can see what you're doing. It's more difficult. And obviously at night, you need to take precautions. You don't want to lose somebody overboard at night.
right?
Hear this
Oh.
fun fact?
I'm sorry?
Did you hear this fun fact? I heard this morning. Do carrots actually give you better vision?
They're supposedly yes.
So
That's-
apparently in England, when they got night vision, this made me think of it. All the other countries wanted to know how England got this night vision.
They ate carrots.
And they said because they ate carrots. So this whole myth developed because they didn't want to tell them that they had this special night vision technology. So they just said, oh, their eyesight's much better because they started eating carrots. And that's how the carrot happened And say night vision.
And do you know why pirates wear a patch? I told you this.
Why?
Because when the nighttime came, they used to switch the patch so they could see at night because they'd been covered all day and they could see at night.
Night vision.
Yeah, like a night vision. This is what pirates allegedly wore.
How do you and I do this?
But
Random
that's
fun
what happened. They
facts.
told me. That's what they said to me. And then I went on a cruise in the ocean,
okay?
and it was so dark. Now you get to see the stars. It looks like it lit up at night with all the stars and all that. But I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. And the captain's just moving along. And
You gotta love what
this
you do.
Rocks and all this stuff. I go, how the hell? Now they must like radar or something, because I'm gonna tell you, you couldn't see nothing out there.
Jim, have you always been this calm?
This calm?
You're very calm, mellow.
No, I'm just listening. Well, there's a when I go out on the water, we always try and have an outing that's no drama. You don't want too much drama on the boat.
Yeah.
Things do go wrong sometimes, and you definitely get drama. So-
Well, give me an example of drama, because that sort of scares me. I'm in the boat and we got drama. Well, what's?
You're a little nervous over there.
Oh, I'm very nervous.
Oh, sometimes the what are called the jib sheets get all tangled up on the foredeck. The anchor, which is definitely something you don't want to have happen to you, or the anchor on the bow jumps out of its holder, and you have to go up onto the bow and put it back in, which is definitely not something you want to do.
like
All
no
manner of
brakes on the
things can
car.
happen. Sailing is a lot of fun, but sometimes it's the stories you have to tell after you've been sailing that are more fun. And definitely
Got a
things
peanut
go
gallery
wrong.
next to me. I got the peanut gallery next to me laughing.
You
Yeah.
sail?
No.
Yep.
I'm on A1. There's a story. I gotta get my buddy. I'll record him because I'm gonna go see him this weekend. But the story he has, he faced death basically, because he sailed from like Maryland down to Virginia. Are those same? It was somewhere like very close to each other, but he was actually like legit sailing. And yeah, there's a storm that came and.
It's a storm. They
There was
can't.
a
That
storm
perfect storm.
because he was just out in the ocean sailing, just down. And I'll record his story this weekend, and I'll put it on for tomorrow or Monday when I come back.
Well, see, what's nice about us sailors, and I'm one of them, I used to own a sailboat in San Francisco.
Someone's done it all.
And we're hardy. We can kind of adapt to anything. We bring the proper clothes with us. And what happens when we go on
I don't know if her light's on.
What happens when we go on a sail is the sailing coordinator puts everybody on a boat. We assign a crew chef, that's right, and crew chief, and she coordinates all the food. So everybody brings something. Let's say there's 8 people. One people will bring a salad. One people will bring a main dish, and whatever you want to drink. And that's how the food works. And we always have feasts on it. And when we do a raft up, you can go from boat to see your friends and enjoy their food.
Would
So
you do
it's
that?
a party on the water all the time.
I used to do that when I went whitewater
Sounds
rafting.
like a lot of fun.
Whitewater rafting, we used to do that, but when we got away from the canoes and we went into rafts, and then you tie them all up, it's a whole lot of fun. You just go down for 8 miles forever. How many of these venues have you been on? Because it sounds to me like you've done plenty.
Well, I personally have been a member of the club since 2008, I believe.
Wow.
So I've been on quite a few, and
Give me your most memorable. That one
well,
episode.
I personally like power boats because they're not a lot of work on power boats, but I owned a sailboat. The most memorable was just being with people that I never did an overnight, but just being with people that you enjoy being with, and conversing and getting to know them better, because we have the socials every Thursday night at Galuppi's. From 5:30 to like 7:30, and then we listen to the music, and you get to meet people there too. But it's nothing like being on a boat with someone in a closed quarters, and then you really get to know them. And we've had people that, in addition to getting married, but they go on, the single people, they go on cruises together. You build very deep relationships.
How many people have met and got married through the Singles Club?
Well, first we're celebrating our 35th anniversary this year.
Wow.
And over the 35 years, we have about 72 marriages that have occurred in Sailing Singles. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it does
How
happen.
many have gotten divorced? You know what it is? You fall in love under the moonlight and all that.
It's very romantic, right?
Hey, look at Ricky laughing. He knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
You like to sail, Ricky? You like the boats?
I haven't been on a boat in a couple of years, but one thing about boats I like is, how it rocks back and forth. I don't get seasick.
He don't get seasick. It's a good thing.
It's calming. Wow. And I have to ask you, why the color pink?
Well, when the founding group got together in 1988,
Wow.
they looked at the different colors and it was down to like a burnt orange or pink. And the group picked pink, and I looked up what it represents. And pink is romance, which fits our club. We're
Sure.
a singles group. Also, the beautiful pink sunsets and sunrises. And we just went with pink, and people really notice us on the water. They know who we are.
It
Sailing
is.
Singles.
All
a
the boats have pink flags when they go out. So, and then we have the captain's hat. We have hats that says Sailing Singles. A lot of our gear you can buy is pink. And then we even have a pink book, which all our members are in. That every year we update that. I think she has a copy of the pink book.
Yeah.
So we're pink.
This has our bylaws that we go by, and we have rules and regulations. So we are a very legitimate club, and we do work with other sailing clubs in the community. So
It's
we're not just the only.
129 for the year.
25.
125 for the year. Is it extra to go to events?
Sometimes it is. We just had our change of command at Coral Ridge Yacht Club, and that was a wonderful event. We invited other sailing clubs. So people do have to pay a ticket price for those kind of events, but they pay less than our guests. So it's always an advantage if you're a member, because you do get a break on ticket price for different things.
And how do people reach you? How do they get information or to join the club?
They can go on our website, sailingsingles.org, and there's a place that they can actually apply online. Or if they come to our socials, they would talk to Beverly, our membership director, and they can fill out an application anytime, any Thursday night. But many of our people do go to the website now, and they can also see the different activities and our calendar of events and learn about our club.
Do you screen people when they come in to make sure that they're going to follow the pink book and everything else? Do you screen them?
We talk about the potential new members. A lot of our members are sponsored by other people.
Okay.
That's been kind of the history of the club. But now that I'm kind of doing, in addition, I'm doing the marketing and the membership. So we're kind of going, in public. And so I talked to the Commodore and a couple other board members before we would approve someone, because there is an approval. They have to fill out the information and sign their waiver online, and we kind of get a little bit of a feel for them. They're not just joining
Do
just
you interview them? Do they interview? Does the group interview the people?
No, we don't. We don't interview
That's
them.
interesting, because if you're going to be with 30 some odd people, you sort of want to have, the ship going in the same direction.
Well, like I said, most of the time in the past they've been sponsored by people, but
Right.
we've been getting a lot of people. They're mostly women in the club, and not that matters. But yeah, we are looking at just to get an eye on people, and have a couple people, have a captain and maybe the Commodore talk to potential people that want to join, to make sure that they're joining for the right reason.
How'd you become
It
the
is a
Commodore?
safe environment.
Safe
Yeah.
environment.
I mean, that is an issue. It is a safe environment for everyone in the club. We have a lot of fun, but it's important that people feel comfortable.
And if you're a male,
Let's see if the numbers are good for you.
you got some numbers.
Yes, there are a lot of women in the club, and
Ricky wants to go.
I think the
Okay.
last two
you
times
doing?
I've been out, it has been an all-female crew. but you know that's just yeah. But
That's
so if you're a male and you've got a sailboat,
I think you
bring
have
your
to-
boat along and we'll.
I gotta tell you, I had a club in New York called Chase and Soir, and I could not get guys to the club.
Very difficult.
I could not get guys to the club. So guys were free. Women had to pay. Guys were free. I could not. Then I had a mixer. I cannot get guys to the club. But on this thing, if you are looking, you know, everybody's always looking for the perfect mate. Instead of going anywhere, if there's 30 women or 20 women and you, maybe another guy, you know, your chances begin. Ricky, your chances are going to get better, Ricky. Going to get you married.
Well, that's why we're looking for what really, you know, we have a meetup. We're having a meetup this Friday at the Cove in Deerfield. And the purpose of that is to try to have people with boats, men or women with boats, single people, of course, to meet us and we need more boats in our club. Because if we want to do more activities, we need more single boat owners. So that's my big push this
Bev
year.
gets out there.
But you don't need to have a boat if you want to join the club.
That's correct. You don't
so
need
all these
one.
women own boats?
Some do, some don't, I guess.
Some do, some don't.
We do have women captains that own boats, and that's great about Sailing Singles, that we offer that opportunity.
Girl power.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break.
Bikini power.
I like that. Pink bikinis.
I used to get this read up on my email, and so I didn't know what it was.
Well, now you know.
Uh,
And there's 20 women to every one guy.
No, it's not that ratio.
He don't know that. He don't know that.
All right, let's take a commercial break. Let's do some more
It's-
music. Check it out,
it's
sailingsingles.org for more information. And we can always get you in touch with our good friend, Bev D'Amico, who does a little bit of everything. Such a pleasure to meet you, Lynette and Jim. Sailing Singles sounds like a whole lot of fun. I'm in that age group now of all the things opening up to me.
Josh can't go either because he ain't single no more. Look
I
at
think
his
you're
face.
single until you're married.
Josh, you should join.
No.
Be the representative.
Ah. All right, stay
And let us know
tuned.
what's going on.
More music, and we'll be right back.